Okay. Is everyone able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So today, I think today there's less of content for me to teach and more of some activities that we can do. So what we'll do is, so you all remember the the pachims that we learnt in the last class, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, like I said, that although there are so many different types, especially these double ones that you see here, not all, and I actually forgot to add one more here. One second. There is one more, which is a double. You know this consonant, right? This double. This is called sangya. Sangya, or the double g sound. This also can come as a final consonant, but the sound it'll make is the same as the sound of the actual consonant itself. So there is this one more. Again, it makes the same sound. So we learned these double consonants, and then we learned the single consonant, which come as final sounds. So now, if you remember, these ones they always make the the sound here, whereas these two make the b sound, right? And these double consonants also have their own rules. Now, not all of them are commonly used. I think the ones that I have actually seen are, I'll highlight the ones that I find very common. This one, the second one is there, third one. I've seen these two. This is there. This is very common. So the others are not something that, I have commonly seen. I think these are the most important ones. So if when you're starting out, you can start by memorizing these and then you can go on to the rest of it. Okay. So now the next thing, so we read these few examples. So now I'm going to teach you how to read these double consonants. Okay, so now they don't always have the same pronunciation when we're reading them. So now what is the rule for reading? So now if you see here, when the, okay, for example, let's say we have this character here. Now what sound would this make, this character? Can anyone tell me?
Ma'am, is it mob?
Yes, sir. A bit louder.
Ma'am, is it mob? Sorry, oh.
Oh, yes. Oh, so now we know that the sound of the final consonant here is,
Ma'am, B sound.
yes, the final sound here is B. So, and then let me take one more example. Arufa. Oh, you were not there in the previous class, right?
No, ma'am, I was absent.
Okay. I think the class recording hasn't been shared yet. Let me see. I'll ask sir also maybe once. Okay. Until then, yes, Deeptika, were you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Deeptika. How would you read this one?
Aunt.
An, just an. Why? Because you see this final consonant, when you just read it like this separately, the sound that it makes is only n. So an, this one will be read as this in isolation, in separately. But now, when does the pronunciation change? Now we'll use the same examples. Okay, now when this character, for example, this whole thing, when this is joined with a consonant, that comes afterwards. For example, there are three examples I've given: the, no. So when these are the, when when there are other consonants that are following after it, then the pronunciation will remain the same. So this rule that I told you before, like this will be pronounced as an. Now, if I had to give you an example. So this is an. Now, if this is joined with a consonant. So now you see this part here, this is a consonant, right? Here. So now when this is a consonant, this as a whole will be pronounced as antha, antha. The spelling will have this here, but the pronunciation will be antha. And antha means what? To sit down. The verb for to sit, right? So this, so now here you see, even though now since this is being followed by a consonant here, the pronunciation is the same, which is the same the actual rule for that double consonant. So now, Sakshi, if how will you read this now?
Mom, which one?
1 second, let me. The one that I've circled in blue. You can go back to your notes, see the rules that you had for the single consonant if you are not able to remember it now.
Obada.
Just opta. No op. So it won't be obada. Just ob. So this one. Now, if you had to read this separately, Sakshi, how would you read this? Hmm?
Ob.
Yes, just ob, right? So now to ob, if you add tha after it, how will you pronounce it?
Obda.
Opta. Yes, exactly. So that is opta. So now you see when this is followed by a consonant, the sound will, the pronunciation will, the rule for pronunciation will remain the same. Now, one more, if I had to give an example. Now, Tanishka, 1 second. Yeah. Tanishka, how would you read this?
Ma'am, Opsi.
Opshi. Very good. So, this part here is pronounced as op, and the she comes from the second half. So, opshi. So, did everyone get it? Now, do you understand this rule? So when your double consonant or any final consonant for that matter, if it's followed by this, if the next character is also consonant, then the rule will remain the same, the pronunciation rule. Now, when does this change? This only changes when you have a vowel that comes after it. And by vowel, what do I mean? Now, the first one you saw, uh, so this, just not talking. So now this was an example of when this final consonant is followed by another consonant here. Now, if this is followed by a vowel, now for example, here. Now what happens? So the sound of the final consonant in this case will shift to the vowel. Okay? So now let's say in the case of a single consonant, if you have a single consonant, okay, Tanishka, how would you read this?
Ma'am, oth.
Oth. Very good. So oth, when followed by a vowel, for example here, like this, what happens? The sound of the final consonant will shift here. And in this way, it's not the pronunciation that we're reading, not the sound. It's the actual sound of this letter. So now how will this be pronounced? Tanishka, how would you pronounce it?
Oshi.
Oshi. Yes. So now you see now vowels in this case sort of become like an again placeholder. So now you know that this is an empty consonant, right? So what happens when this empty consonant behind this empty consonant, if you have this like a final consonant here, it takes the sound of this final consonant. Okay. So now this is in the case of a single consonant. But in the case of a double consonant, what happens? For example, this one. Now this is op. Now if this is followed by a vowel, only this sound, the second consonant goes here. The first one remains there. So now if you had to pronounce it, the sound would be like this, the pronunciation. And now this becomes opshi, opshi. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Deeptika, did you understand Sakshi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Arufa, Hemant, did you attend the previous? Arufa and Hemant, you were both not there in the previous class, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hemant, what about you?
I am also not there.
Okay. So I'll just give you like a very brief, uh, just a brief recap of what happened. Maybe then you can watch the recordings later and just to, have a detailed understanding. So what we did was we learned about bhatshims in the previous class. Now, do you both remember Hemant, Arufa? Do you remember what a bhatshim is?
Ma'am, double consonants.
Bhatshim does not mean double consonant. Bhatshim means the final consonant. Now, if you have a letter, now in this character, Arufa, which one do you think is the final consonant?
No.
Na, correct. So this na is called the bhatshim. Right? So bhatshim have certain rules. Now we had already learned two bhatshims before, the sa and the empty one. So now when these letters, when they come as the final consonant, for example, here or here, they have a different sound. This takes the sound of like the, right? So this sounds like at. You won't say as, you say at. Here also, when this alphabet comes as a final consonant, it makes the ng sound. So this becomes ang, right? These are the two bhatshims that we had learned before. So in the previous class, what we did, we learned a few more bhatshims, and that is mentioned here in this slide. So first, when you see in the single consonant, you have these many alphabets that can come as a final consonant, right? So the first set of alphabets, they make the sound, same as this letter, as a final consonant. So this is also pronounced at. This is also pronounced at. This will also be pronounced as at. Okay, so this will also be pronounced as at. So these all letters, when they come as a final consonant in the end, they have this sound, the th or the sound. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And this second set here, this one, these, when they come as a final consonant, they make the b sound. So this will also be up. This will also be up, up. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the single consonant we learned. And then here we have some double consonants. So the final consonant, it's not necessary that it is always a single letter. It can also be double letters. So these will be written somewhat like this or this. So, both these letters can come in the final consonant. But these also have some rules regarding the pronunciation. Although you see two alphabets, the pronunciation it has is only one. So what are those rules? You see here that this one, it's pronounced as the, similar to the single consonant that we learned. These two, this set here, this has, wait, I think you're not able to see it clearly. Oh. Yeah, this set here, they have the g sound pronunciation. These two here, they have the n sound pronunciation. So, similar way, there are these sets of final consonants that have their own pronunciation rules. So now we were just learning about how to read them. These rules are something that you will have to memorize. Okay, these and the ones that I've highlighted in yellow, these are, you will commonly see them. Like they're very often used in your normal language conversation or while you're reading signs and everything. These are very common. So then we looked at some examples. Now I'll give these examples again when we are reading. Okay, so again, let's come back to the reading rules. So we learned that when there is a consonant that comes after these pachims or these final consonants, they will have the same pronunciation rule. By rules, I mean these rules here. Okay. But after that, if there is a vowel that's following, vowel can be like here, a, e, u, any vowel like that's mentioned here, the pronunciation of the final consonant will shift. Okay. So let's try this. Sakshi, how would you pronounce this?
Ma'am, is
Are you sure? Check the rule for that final consonant.
um, ma'am, id.
It. Very good. Now, how would you read this?
Ida.
Ita. Very good. So this is an example of when the final consonant is followed by another consonant. So now instead of this, if we change it to this, how would you read this now, Sakshi?
Idea.
Mm,
Isso.
oh, very good. This becomes issa.
Isso.
Like I said, this sound will, the second alphabet, the sound will shift here. Okay, so now this will be read as
Isso.
issa. Okay.
Mm.
And let's say who else do we have? Tanishka, Sakshi, Deeptika. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, how would you read this separately, just like this?
And.
Hmm. And then if you add this
Anta.
anta, very good. Now instead of a consonant, now this is a big word, but read it. Try reading this. Don't look at this part. First try to read the first half.
Anch.
Anj. Not ch, j. Anj. And then now add it with the second part.
Seo. Anjaseo.
Anjaseyo. Very good. Now, Anjaseyo means it's a very respectful way of asking someone to have a seat. So, if you, let's say let's say for example, I am working in a restaurant and then there's a customer who walks in and they walk in near the table. I can tell them Anjaseyo. Anjaseyo means please have a seat, right? Or let's say if you meet someone new at a restaurant for the first time and they come near your table, you can tell them to have a seat. So you can say 앉으세요. So 앉으세요 is a very common expression. Now a very casual way of saying it to your friend would be just like this. 앉아. 앉아. 그냥 앉아. Just saying, just take a seat. Just sit down. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
So now did you all understand how the reading works when you see these double consonants?
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll do one thing. We'll go back to the examples that we learned in the previous slide and let's try and apply these rules there. Okay. Okay, so the first words here. Okay, so this one. Now, how is this pronounced? Tanishka.
What?
Kot. Yes. Now, how would you pronounce this?
Kochi.
Kochi. Very good. So this becomes Kochi. Pronunciation changes to Ko Chi. So when, for example, the phrase for saying the flowers have bloomed, for example, now that is said as 꽃이 피었습니다. Do any of you know Squid Games?
Yes, ma'am.
You've heard of Squid Game? Have you heard of that popular song that comes when the robot turns and it's singing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So doesn't it sound like 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다? Have you
Yes,
heard that?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We have heard.
Yes, so that 꽃이 피었습니다. That 꽃이 means flower. So this part here, when you're saying kochi, e is a particle that's a more like a grammar rule. But for us, what we need to focus now is the pronunciation. Now, otherwise, without this is just pronounced as kot. When you say jangmi kot, rose flower. But in that song, when you say kochi piossimnida, so here you see the example of kochi coming in. Okay. Okay, another example, I know this is not here. Sakshi, how would you read this?
Ma'am, which one?
This one here.
Ma'am, odd.
Odd or see the vowel carefully.
Odd.
It's ut, not o, u. Okay. So now this ut. Now, if I add it with the consonant, this becomes utta. Utta means to laugh. It's the verb for saying to laugh. Okay, but now this word. Does anyone want to try reading this?
Can I?
Yes, go ahead.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
Is it awesome?
Awesome. Very good. Now, was there anyone who now did you all attend the last workshop that we had? WeJump workshop
Yes, ma'am.
where we had 7 teams and you all colored masks and everything.
Yes, ma'am.
There was one team which was called Awesome. Awesome? Do you remember? Was there anyone who was a part of that team?
Mummy.
Yes. So, your team name was actually Usum. Usum means what? To smile. Or it's a noun actually. It's a noun which means smile. So when you see a smile on someone's face, it's called Usum. So this was also the team name. So now you see how Ut is just the word separately. Utta is to laugh. And here the example here you see is when the single consonant here is followed by a consonant. But here you see the final consonant is followed by a vowel in the next character. So that is why the sound shifts. And then, so you have, now you have oo, sim. Okay. Now, do you all understand the rules?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, we look at some final examples here. And so here you see, like I've used words where some of them have a vowel following after it and some of them have a consonant after it. So we have looked at this example already. Antha, Anjaseo, we learned that. This is opta, but with a vowel it becomes opso, opshi, right? Opsoyo. You can say isoyo, opsoyo. That's something we have learned. Itta also we learned as an example. Now these ones we can look at the ones in the middle. So here, now how do you pronounce this separately? Just this character. Deeptika, what sound do you think it will make? The final consonant here.
Ma'am, man.
Man. Very good. But when it's followed by a vowel, what happens again? Okay, when it's followed by a vowel here, how would you read this?
Manhi.
Manhi. Very good. This becomes manhi. Manhi. Again, now let's look at this. Sakshi, how would you read this separately?
Ma'am, Sid.
Shil. Shil. It becomes a bit more like la in the end. Shil. And if I add this, how would you read this? Simple. If there's a consonant after it, what is the rule?
Ma'am, Shizdo.
Again,
Shizdo.
do. Is this do in the end, the vowel?
Dada.
Yeah, shirtha. Okay, shirtha. But Now, since there's a vowel here after it, how will you read this word?
सिर है
Hai? Are you sure? Which is the final vowel?
सिर है
Is this a? This vowel?
ओ, सिर हो
Shirho. Shiro. This is pronounced as
सिर
Shirho. Yeah. You need to memorize Sakshi. Bit more practice. Okay, and finally here, this is the same example. The double consonant here is the same. How is this read? Arufa, have you seen this word?
Gwen,
Mm-hmm.
Gwenchana.
Gwenchana. Very good. Oh, glad you picked it up. Very good. Gwenchana.
Gwenchana.
Yes. So now these were the examples. So now I thought since after covering these pachims, I think we have finished all that we need to know for reading Korean. So now you are in a position where you can read anything that comes, like any sentences that come in front of you. Okay. Now, one thing that we need to know about these double consonants is that there are some words with exceptions. Okay. Now, these exceptions, some of them might not be very common. Some of them are so common that you will end up memorizing it on your own. I don't want to include exceptions right now because they can be a bit difficult to remember. But yes, so but then there will be some words which have a different pronunciation or which might not follow this rule. But this rule will be there for at least 80% of your words. But then there will be, you know, how in every language you have some exceptions, some which do not follow the rules. The same is with Korean as well. There'll be some words with exceptions. If I had to give you an example here, uh, do you know the phrase "khachi khaja"? Have you heard this in dramas? Or "khachi kha"? If there's anyone who's heard, I can explain. Otherwise, I'll leave it out.
Now, like, I've heard it, but not sure like what it means.
Okay. So "khachi" means together. So "kha" is to go. When you say "khachi kha" means go together. So now what happens here in that word is, now this is the word. So this is pronounced as "khachi." The pronunciation here is actually like this. Even though the spelling of the word might make you think, oh, this should be pronounced as "khathi" or "khati," but the actual pronunciation is "khachi." Right? So this is like this is an exception here. So it does not follow the same rule. So like this, there will be words with exceptions, but that is not very important because that is most of them are not very common. The common ones, I think we will have one class just for exceptions. We can do that later. But what is important is that you need to know how to read these words. And also, if you come across any exceptions, don't be worried. We can gradually learn and memorize it. That's all right. Okay. So there was one activity that I had talked to you about before, and this was like a reading activity where we can look at the song lyrics. You can try reading the lines first, and then we listen to the song to see what the actual pronunciation is. Okay, and see whether you're doing it correctly or not. Okay, should we do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Hemant, will you also do that? Are you ready? Hemant and Arufa, you both can try your best. I know you have missed the previous classes, but it's okay. I will help you along the way. And the rest, we can start. Okay, give me a minute. Any song suggestions? Any K-pop song suggestions? No K-pop fans here.
And
Ma'am,
yes,
life goes on.
Life goes on? Okay. Let's try. Goes on BTS. Let me know if you're able to hear the song clearly. Is it okay? Are you able to hear it?
I'm not clearly.
Not clearly? Okay. Second. Now just let me know if you're able to hear. I'll play it once. Is it better now?
Yes, ma'am.
We can hear.
Okay. Just 1 minute.
Recording.
I'll start playing the song now, and we'll have one by one. Let's start reading the lines, okay?
겨울이 오면 내시
Okay. Now, Tanishka.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you read the first line. The first line in white.
Yes, ma'am. 오는
Hmm.
세상이
Hmm.
못 I'm like it's not clear, like I can't see the word properly.
Okay.
If possible, can you write the word?
Yeah, I'll try that. Uh-uh. See if this is nice. Are you able to see the lyrics now?
Yes, ma'am. I can see like, but in the notes, like you didn't write anything.
Okay. This is Is it better?
Yes, ma'am. And then can I read?
Yeah, you can read now.
Yes, ma'am. Onunal se sangi moth and
Mm-hmm.
ma'am, just a minute.
Yeah.
Chu- chu- chu-
Okay, let's try breaking it a little.
Yes, ma'am.
This
Ma'am,
plus. How do you read the second part?
the first one is moth and second one is
This is mom.
chuo. Chuo. The second
Ma.
part is chuo.
Hmm. Sure, very good. And then here you have a final consonant, right?
Yes, ma'am. Then
But
saw.
then the final consonant is followed by a vowel. So what would the rule say?
And then we have to read it with the third part then,
Mm-hmm.
like saw.
Sure. This become then this sound will go to this vowel, right? Okay, I'll just help you. So this is chwa.
I'm like your voice is echoing.
Oh, okay. One second. Is it better now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So chwa, then you have this final consonant, but this sound will shift to the next vowel. So this would be pronounced like now how would you read it?
Chuo saw.
Very good. So now try reading it together.
Moth chuo saw.
Yeah. Not moth, not the, it's ma only. The final sound will be ma.
Ma'am, but it's bachim and it's ending with ma, then you have to pronounce it like the, right?
No, ma is not included in that rule, no? Okay, let me go back to the PPT. Okay. So here, okay, I think I didn't explain this. So only the vowels that are included in the first set, these vowels, only these have the sound. But the consonants. But the other consonants that are left out, that are not included here, they continue with the same sound that they have. Mm. So, like now in this example that we saw, you see the final consonant here is ma, right? It's not included in this list. So the sound this will make is ma only. So this will be pronounced as mom. For example, this is moth, but this will be mom. Okay. So only the consonants included in this list have this sound. The rest of them have the same sound of the alphabet itself. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
What else have we excluded? We've excluded this alphabet also. No is also not in the list now, if you see. Right? So no, that means no continues with the same sound. So this will be written as mon. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So any alphabets that are not included, they continue with the same sound of the alphabet. Real is also not here. So this will be mol. Okay. Now going back to this. Okay, Tanishka, so now you try reading the whole line together.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
오늘날 세상이
Hmm.
멈춰서
Hmm.
아무런
Hmm.
then is it yeah
Yeah.
yeah no the yeah no the
Ye khodo. Khodo.
coda yeah coda
Hmm.
hmm?
Hmm.
And can you write the last word?
The last one is this. This is also a final consonant we have learned.
Yes, ma'am. Opshi.
Opshi. Very good. So now should we listen to how it sounds?
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, when they're singing, let me know if you're still able to hear the audio. Are you able to hear it?
Ma'am, we didn't hear anything. No.
Okay. Change the setting again. Okay. So even though the line it was very fast, you see that Tanishka actually read it correctly. Right? 어느 날 세상이 멈춰서 아무런 예고도 하나 없이. So you know that how in music when they're singing, they do tend to sing a bit fast. But then the pronunciation that you got is correct.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hmm? Yes, Tanishka.
Like Hana means one.
Hana means one, yes.
Yes.
So this 어느 날 세상이 멈춰서 아무런 예고도 하나 없이. Something like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So since again do not have a lot of time left today, just want to tell you that you guys now that you're able to read basic words on your own, your assignment for this week will also be related to this. And because we will be meeting now next in January, because you also have a Christmas vacation, right? So now I want you guys to enjoy this assignment, and this time just take up your favorite Korean song, or if you haven't been listening to K-pop, just pick a random K-pop song that you like. Listen to the song a lot of times, try to look at the lyrics, and your assignment is to record at least 1 minute of your favorite song. Okay? Is that easy? Will you be able to do it?
Ma'am, less
Excuse
than
me, ma'am.
1 minute can,
Hmm.
Ma'am, can you
like,
repeat the
for the
assignment?
whole 1 minute we have to sing.
Yes, sing. Try singing. It's okay. Don't worry about your voice. I'm sure all of you will do really well. It's okay. But the thing is to learn pronunciation. So your pronunciation matters more.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Abhishek.
Ma'am, I didn't listen the class in the assignment because I was in the work. I was doing work in church of Christmas. Can
Oh,
chat?
Abhishek, your class is at 6 o'clock.
Yes.
You
Sorry, ma'am.
It's okay. So yes, this is for Korean 1. Sorry. Okay, sorry. This is for Korean 2. So this is your assignment. Pick up your favorite Korean song, any favorite K-pop song, some a song from your favorite TV, from your drama, or your favorite boy group, girl group, anything. Pick your favorite song and try to sing at least the first 1 minute of the song. Okay? You can use karaoke. I think if you have learned video editing or voice editing, you can use a karaoke. You can add the music for your background if you want to try that. Or if that is difficult, just you can send us just a plain voice recording. And this time you send your assignments on our WhatsApp group. Okay?
Yes,
Will
ma'am.
all of you be able to do it?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone with any problem?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Tanishka.
Ma'am, like, when we are trying at first, can we just record like less than 1 minute, like when we try at first?
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry, it's not the timing, it's how you pronounce that is more important.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? So yes, that is it. That is your assignment for today, this week, and we shall meet again next year. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Enjoy your holidays.
Thank you, ma'am. Same to you.
Thank
Excuse me,
you.
ma'am.
Yes, Arufa.
Ma'am, when is the last date to submit?
Last date. Take this entire week, or maybe you can take some more time because
Okay.
um you'll be busy during vacations also, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
let's before our next class. I think our next class will be on 6th January.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have time until then.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. So thank you everyone. 감사합니다.
감사합니다,
감사합니다,
선생님.
선생님.
감사합니다, ma'am.
감사합니다. 잘했어요.